What's going on, y'all? Figured I'd pop in for a little update video, because I know y'all have probably been wondering what the hell's happened to me this summer. Channel's been pretty inactive as far as content and uploads goes, and not a fairly justifiable reason for not really being on the YouTube grind. And ain't really been too open about it. There's like a select few people that knows the situation, but y'all help build the channel, help grow it by supporting it, liking and sharing the videos, just tuning in whenever you can. So y'all aren't entitled to you know, more or less the down low what's been going on here on the home front. Apologize if it's a little dark, can't see my face. A nice overcast today, as you can see. Possibility of a thunderstorm or a good little downpour, but we're gonna walk the trails a little bit and have a little real time and talk. But yeah, anyway, where have I been the entirety of the summer? How come I ain't been uploading? Around the beginning of this year, you know, ooh, I gotta catch my breath a little bit. It's been a while since I've hiked up here. Here to see some of the progress that me and Dad's made on our trails too. Finally invested in a steel. Made clearing all this out so much better than having to do it by hand with a brush axe and a handsaw. But anyway, I guess before getting into the subject of the video, talk a little bit about my grandmother. My grandmother, God bless her heart, she's 86 years young, and as far as a clean bill of health goes, she ain't been too blessed in that. She's had a history of heart problems, a few strokes, but she's pretty much helped raise every grandkid and child there is in the family. And there is an incident that occurred there around the beginning of the year where she, I mean, she gets around good now, but it was at a point to where she couldn't really get around due to shortness of breath and everything. So she would do things a little bit at a time, sit down, catch her breath, and then get back at it. Well, one particular incident, so at the beginning of the year, she's at the home place in the holler, going towards Reed's Creek and Johnson's Ridge, around the O.K.T.F area. And she got to making some fried chicken, stovetop, cast iron skillet. Had to go sit down and catch her breath, and just kind of dozed off, fell asleep, and just forgot all about it being on the stove. And it had been there for a while frying, and caught fire and smoked up her house real bad. And my uncle lived his trailer down below her. I guess he noticed some smoke building out of the house. He thought the house was on fire. Went up there, got her out, opened the windows, ventilate the air out so smoke wasn't in there. But nonetheless, she about suffocated herself due to that. And we've been trying to convince her to come stay with us for a while. Now she did pretty good on her own, but This multitude of, health problems building up over the years, age and whatnot. It's getting to where it was running its course on her, to where she couldn't really have the independence of living like that. That incident finally opened her eyes up and let her know she probably needs to be around somebody like just take care of her and watch after her, So she's been living with us. And while she was living with us, my mom discovered a lump on her right breast. All this time, our primary care provider, thought this was a part of her devices. She has a pacemaker and a defibrillator. Now, you would think somebody that's been seeing you as long as they have would have on record, when it comes to procedures and whatnot that you've been through. They would know exactly where your devices were as far as your defibrillator and pacemaker goes. But we don't really know how long this lump had been there. But whenever we went to the heart doctor and a monitor for devices, one of the nurse practitioners, that's not a part of your device. That's something else. And sure enough, it ended up being breast cancer. So we had to go over to Bristol Regional Medical Center and see a cancer doctor. And without even having to do a biopsy on it, he could just tell and look at it that it was breast cancer. It ended up being stage 3. She had to have a right mastectomy, removed her whole breast. And she was down there for a while. Things were kind of sketchy and iffy at best, but she's getting back, healthy, getting where she can actually move around and do stuff on her own. And thing right now with that is where she's 86 years old. The doctor, he thinks he got majority of it, but he's not 100% sure. So just to make sure things don't come back, try to come back aggressive or anything, they weighed the options. Chemotherapy on an 86-year-old woman was just out of the question, so we're not going to do that. 5-day-a-week radiation treatment was an option, but the thing was, where her devices are on her right-hand side above where she had the mastectomy done, there was complications, where it was on her left side where they had to have it moved to her right side, so they didn't see it as a good option to put her through a surgery to relocate her devices in order to do the radiation treatment. So what we've been doing is hormone therapy. They got on an estrogen blocker to help prevent things growing back, possibly come back aggressive, or possibility of it spreading. And things have been good. We're just taking it one day at a time. The big thing right now, as far as her condition goes, she's real down in her back. Supposed to be going to see a orthopedic specialist over at Watauga in Kingsport sometime here soon to see if she might be a candidate for what they call orthoplasty. I think that's what it's called. Where they go in and insert a balloon into your disc and then inject cement into a spine, so kind of helps build to where you don't have a lot of pressure and stuff on your nerves, because she's got a lot of compound fractures over the years from bad falls and stuff that we didn't know about, where she was staying up there by herself. And hopefully she'll be able to get that procedure done so she can straighten up a little bit and not be so down in her back. But she does go and get shots to help with that. We're also have to be going to a oncologist and hematologist for a shot that helps with osteoporosis and the weakening of bones, because one of the side effects of the hormone therapy is it can weaken your bone density and whatnot. And the shots, from what the specialist was telling us, supposed to kind of help combat, the weakening of your bones. It actually builds up your bones, and a lot of people have had this shot. In his honest opinion, says it actually has helped restructure their bone, bone strength come back and whatnot as far as growth. And where she's got osteoporosis anyway, it's supposed to kind of help combat that. That's where I've been. I've just been taking care of my grandmother throughout the weekdays. From 9 to 5, I'm there at the house, watching her, make sure she gets her morning meds, make her breakfast, put it on the westerns for her. My grandmother loves westerns, so we sit around a lot and watch Bonanza, Gunsmoke. The Virginian is her favorite. But yeah, I've just been looking after my grandmother. Like I said, she's kind of helped to raise every kid in the family and grandchild. And it's about time somebody started looking after her and taking care of her. And it's not really left a whole lot of time for me to be out on the range throwing. And then I don't have a problem with that, because my condition stayed about the same. Supposed to went back in for a follow-up appointment with my doctor the 5th of this month, but had to cancel because we had some appointments that we had to get her to. And I've not really went back, and I'm contemplating not going back. And it's nothing against the doctor, the medicine that prescribed to me for my problem, it works whenever I start hurting, but problem's not really gotten any better. I can do things just as long as I don't go overboard with it. And I've been testing the waters a little bit just to see how my body will handle, pro format for O.K.T.F, because that's probably what we're going to be throwing at Danger Fest, up at Danger and Alicia's event. And one of the bad side effects of my medicine is you can't really be taking it and having prolonged exposure to sunlight or artificial sunlight sources. So, yeah. I've been experimenting around with some CBD oils to see if that is a good alternative to take, throughout the day. That way I won't have any adverse side effects from the medicine I've been prescribed. But nonetheless, I'm going to go see another doctor soon, because, I kind of do want a third opinion. If it ends up being a nerve condition that can't have anything done about it, it is what it is. But I just want to make sure that is what it is. I got a few other things, I'm not going to get into right now that I'm going to have checked out, but I've been doing okay. As far as testing the waters, is what my body can and cannot handle. I think if I'm able to get to Danger Fest, I should be able to compete relatively easy with no problems or aching and hurting real bad. But that's where I've been, taking care of my grandmother, doing things around her house, keep the property upkept and whatnot. Worked on some knives. I don't know if y'all knew it or not, but Stash came down and got me from West Virginia. I had a giant circular sawmill blade that a friend hooked me up with back in December. We strapped that bad boy to the top of Stash's van and drove it all the way to Berwyn, Pennsylvania, so Joe gets to get some blanks cut out from it. I let him have half the metal, just as payback for all the years he's been good to me, financing trips, coming and going up there. And, I got some stuff made myself. Had about 10 Model 1 throwing daggers made. They're already sewed, and got them shipped out this morning. I'm going to have 5 of my Model 4 Bowies up for grabs, and I'm doing 4 of my Model 2 bayonets for myself. I'm doing like a tactical version with a saw back serrated edge in the spine and a live edge. I'm going to do keep 3 of them for myself, and I'm going to give 1 to my dad, because whenever he's seen the work that I'd put in on my first one, he's like, you know, I wouldn't mind to have one of them, so I'm going to let him have one. But yeah, I should have money for a bus ticket up there. As far as I know, I'm still going. Nothing's changed at the moment. Knock on wood, hopefully nothing does and I'll be able to make it. But that's what's been going on. And I've not really done a whole lot of throwing, you know, like I said, other than just playing around, testing the waters to see how my body will handle throwing. And it's more or less experimenting around with CBD to see how it'll help a chronic pain and whatnot. We're kind of just walking around here off the beaten path of the trail now. I'm just up here seeing what everything looks like. You know, I may, if I don't end up coming up to Danger Fest, you know, going to Indiana, I might try to get back in the woods and sang hunt. And if I don't go sang hunting, I might hook up with my cousin, go down the lower end of the county and work in tobacco again this year. He's needing somebody to cut while he spears, so that's a possibility of something I may do. Which, anything I'm talking about right now is not set in stone. It's just things that may or may not happen. Hey, check this out. Couple of bunches of ginseng here. Well, 2 prongs. Right there looks like a 3. No, that's a 2. Couple of nice looking little 2s. That's good to see. Well, 3 leaves here too. It's good to see that ginseng is not dying out early. That's another reason why I'm in the woods right now, just kind of seeing what everything looks like. You know, as a possible option of whether or not I may hit the woods. When I was talking to somebody there earlier in the year, there might be a possibility they may take ginseng off the market, and I don't really have a problem and issue with that. You know, if they put a ban on it this year and take it off the market and there not being any market for it, I'm A-OK with that, because sadly, a lot of people have kind of abused ginseng badly around these areas, just digging way too early out of season, way before the plants can pollinate and have berries to recultivate. Digging bunches that are not mature enough to harvest, and really didn't have no business taking them out of the ground to begin with. So it's made it rough to make money off of ginseng around here. There are other options that a man can dig to make money as far as medicinal herbs go. But if they actually do put a ban on it, and the game wardens actually enforce it and keep people out of the woods from illegally poaching it, so the stuff can actually get going again real good, I'm all fine and dandy and all for that. But pretty much, well, that's why I've not been doing a whole lot of anything. You know, I've been trying to log in, you know, kind of keep up with what everybody's doing. I myself, I don't have any intentions of doing any videos. You know, if I do actually get to go to Danger Fest, you know, coming up this 13th through the 15th, you know, I said this at Broken Feather Palooza prior to going to it. You know, I might just go up there to hang out, record and document, not do any throwing, but you all know I'll get up there and end up throwing. If I do go, that is. I'm gonna try like hell to go. Gotta get low here for a second, get underneath these briars. Still real good and green back here. Here are the weather patterns we've been having. You know, had a lot of rain early in the year. Then it started getting pretty dry. You know, spaced out thunderstorms and showers. But that's where I'm at right now as far as plans goes. I'm gonna eventually talk it over with Mom and my grandmother. She's doing well enough, I think, if I am able to go and make the trip, that she'll be okay for a couple of days. And there'll be somebody there with her throughout the day. But before I even make that plan and the decision to go through with it, I gotta make sure she's gonna be all right with it. Just kind of looking around here, seeing what all's up. Ain't too far away from my house. This little stretch of woods will surprise you sometimes what you can find in it. Just seen there in the Morel blog that we did back in early spring. Looks like we had some deers or turkeys or something come through recently. Ground's a little disturbed. You can see there. Could have stayed on the trail and went a little further, but kind of right now just in the woods reconning a little bit, seeing what everything looks like. Got a couple of new bayonets for my bayonet collection. I may actually do a video showing them off, my whole collection, because I did a video on Facebook before I left showing what all I had as far as my bayonet collection went. But I have acquired a few new things, and some of them there was in the Broken Feather Palooza, you know, update video. But I scored me a little US M4 Imperial the other day at a garage sale. Sadly, the original handle was not on it, but re-tipped it, re-edged it, did just a simple black paracord wrap around the handle. So it actually makes 4 through 7 of the Imperial set that I have. I have a US M4 case, but wouldn't mind if finding an Imperial version with an actual handle on it, whether it be leather stacked or the rubber stacked handle. You know, I don't care, either one would be nice. Surprised I've not walked up on a big pretty 3 or 4 in these briars yet. I'm telling you, these woods can fool you bad sometimes. Oh yeah, something else to make mention of while we're walking around here just strolling the woods, seeing what everything looks like. My friend's father-in-law hooked me up with a box of about 15 tiller blades. And the way they're made, once I were to heat them up and hammer them out flat, I could probably make some karambits or like some claw-like talon knives. I'll have about 14, well, probably about 14, 13 of them to get rid of if I do get around to making them. I'm going to give one to my friend, and I'm going to give one to his father-in-law for being nice enough to hook me up with them. Now, I've never really made a karambit before, but the tiller blade is idea perfect shape to possibly make one. It does have a hole that I can take a Dremel to and widen out for like a finger ring. So whenever I make the first one, just to play around and see how it turns out, that will determine whether or not they'll end up all being made into karambits or you know, this little claw or talon style knife, like a raptor talon. And cicadas in the background. Old jar fly, as we call them here in the south. It's a nice little cool day. Nice little overcast. It's a good little stroll through the woods. I'm going to look around here just a little bit more. I'm going to start heading back towards the house. It's been a while since I've actually been in the woods outside of, you know, helping Dad get his Kawasaki T-Rex trail cleared out. He ended up buying a Kawasaki T-Rex, what they call side-by-sides down here, because all he can really do, you just got a driver and a shotgun passenger seat, and that's it. That's all they call them, side-by-sides around here. But here's one of the trails that he made, more or less a little back out spot. He was gonna make a trail coming down into this field. We're back on the trail now. We'll eventually have this thing to where it goes completely over the mountain over here. It'll cross over the mountain, go over the ridge, and drop down to our old home place in Right Hand, where my nephew and his girlfriend is living now. This section right here we did by hand. Pretty sure this is a part of our trail. If I walk this, it should bring us right out on a portion of the trail where we left off. We've done a lot of work back here. Yeah, this is going to come back out on the original trail. So I actually cut me a few canes while clearing this thing out. Found me a nice looking wild little maple. And I don't know what kind of wood it was, but it's a wild looking little cane. I might show off some of those that I've found recently. I got done doing a maple there last night. Showed a humongous sassafras cane that I made. Well, I hadn't really roused and got started to stash. I may show off that big old Gandalf stick in another video. So right here is where we've left off. This is the trail that's going to start going up and eventually cross over the mountain and fall out the ridge here to the left. Which, one good thing about making these trails, you know, I only ride over, visit my nephew and whatnot, make certain portions of the mountain so much easier to get to without having to fight your way through this brush. Got a little turnaround spot up here and a little cut off to the left right over here. Yeah, Dad finally took my advice. He invested in a steel. I think it's like a little 180 steel. It's not a 310, but it cuts just as good. And you talk about clearing some trails with that thing. We put in some work on this. This right here is the last section we left off on. Salamado right here. All these knots in it are wild. Yeah, you kind of see there's a little valley down in there. Trail's gonna kind of go around it, going up that holler, and eventually we'll have it up on top of the mountain. We've just been kind of doing a little bit at a time whenever we have the time to do it. This is where we stopped. Some bad brush, I'll tell you that right now. Been a many a hiking for herbs in this mountain though. But yeah, I think it's going to conclude, you know, this little update vlog. It's just aggravating the hell out of me. Picked up a piece of web there. Alright. Yeah, it's going to conclude the vlog. Just want to let y'all know what's going on with me, why I ain't been around. You know, I didn't die or disappear off the face of the earth or anything. Just taking time off from the throwing scene to take care of my grandmother, you know, help my mom out with her, and helping Dad do a few little projects and whatnot. Been piddling around out in the garage every other 2 or 3 weeks working on stuff. Might try to work on getting some prize knives made to donate to Danger's event here soon too. But appreciate y'all for sticking around, remaining sub to the channel due to the inactivity. I apologize, but you know, family's going to come first over the channel. I apologize for that. I shouldn't have to. I would hope a lot of you to understand. Now, I love knife throwing and tomahawk throwing and all that good shit and jazz that goes with it, but at the end of the day, family's more important. And sometimes you just got to take time off from pastimes and hobbies and passions to be there for people that have been there for you. You know, I'd hope when I get to that age, you know, I'll be blessed enough to have somebody, you know, take care of me, because God knows I'm going to be crippled by the time I get to 60. As much skateboarding I did in my youth. Bad slams and twisted ankles and busted up bruised knees, slamming and catching myself on my hands. That's not counting all the roughhousing and whatnot back in the woods, cutting grapevines and climbing trees and falling all of them and shit. I guess it's better to get all that shit out of the way in your youth than, you know, it happen in your old age and really mess you up. But, yeah, seriously, thanks for all y'all that's stayed sub to the channel despite, you know, me doing content and uploading. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry I've not done a whole lot. You know, I probably could have went out and shot a couple 5-minute long clips or something. Just something, but you know, whenever Mom gets off from work in the evening, the last thing I really want to do is just go outside and throw knives. Here as of lately, whenever she's been getting off work, I've been doing a lot of walking. There's a walking trail that's been made along the river bend out here in town that leads into our local park. We may do a vlog of that one day, just to walk the trail and show you what I'm talking about. But it's a real nice trail, real quiet, tranquil, peaceful trail. There's no rude people that walk it. Everybody I've encountered, you know, out walking and exercising, been real nice, friendly people, surprisingly, for this area. But usually whenever I have free time, you know, I'm not really doing a whole lot of knife throwing. You know, I might go out and tinker around in the garage, start on a knife or two. That's something else I'm going to talk about. I don't know how much longer I'm going to make throwing knives, like custom throwers. I've kind of started leaning towards making like tactical style knives, like survival knives. Stuff that you could actually use and have some functionality back in the woods, or put in a bug out bag for, you know, when it shit hits the fan situation. And that's something else I'll probably end up showing y'all once I get them done, because I made mention of the serrated sawback Model 2 bayonets with the live edge. Friend, a couple counties over, he hooked me up with some black walnut that I'm gonna use as handle scales, probably the yellow brass pins. I'm undecided whether or not I'm gonna gun blue the knife and then go back over the cutting edges. But right here's another section that we've left off on. I don't know if we're going to continue going out this way with it or not, but nonetheless, brings you to another little section of the woods. It's so much easier, straight shot, getting to certain areas and places and hollers around this mountain. But yeah, I think it's going to conclude this update video and vlog. In due time, when things get back to being somewhat normal and stable, I may get back to uploading like I was on a regular. Truth be told, I probably, like I said, could have been doing little small uploads, 5-10 minute, you know, little 3-5-10 minute clips or something, just playing around and piddling. But you know how we are here at O.K.T. Films. We don't like uploading the quote-unquote average norm. And, you know, with what's going on with my back and side, it does make it a little rough to do the crazy shit still. But I think I'm getting where I could probably start piddling and maybe experimenting around. It's too early to test the waters on that front, but we're going to see. But like I said, not trying to sound like a repeat, you know, record that's just skipping. But seriously, thank y'all so much for not unfollowing, not unsubbing. You know, y'all sticking around really means a lot, even if I've not been active on the channel. Y'all are the fucking bomb, for real. Couldn't ask for any better group of subscribers and followers ever, you know. And O.K.T. Films, the franchise and series, it ain't dead and gone yet. You know, 2332 got some miles on his body from doing a lot of that Mad Professor throwing shit, but I think we still got some life and some spark, some of that energy still left to do some stuff later on up the road. But y'all take care, God bless. Keep on chuckling, Outlaw Throwing Nation, and really do appreciate the hell out of y'all. I'll catch y'all in another video installment to the series on up the road. And if I do get to go to Dangerfest, expect to see some video of that. Speaking of video of event, if y'all are wondering where the last 4 episodes of Broken Feather Palooza 9 is, I have them. I'm just not going to upload them. I'm going to wait till probably January or February next year just to get those 4 out of the way, just to generate a little bit of hype for 2020, because we're going to have a different format for Broken Feather Palooza 2020. I'm not going to spoil too much of that for you. You'll just you'll see what's going on. But yeah, I'll catch y'all later. I gotta get back towards the house. My stro's pretty much about over.